Hey friends, this is Angela from Art of Creation Homestead. Welcome to our homestead and welcome to our kitchen. It's early in the morning. I've just let the chickens out and we're getting supper started. I know that sounds strange, but you'll see why in a minute. Okay, what we have hiding under the paper towel is a duck. So today what we are going to be doing is duck carnitas tacos. And we're going to be doing it in a little bit of an odd way. We're going to be doing it in the slow cooker. I know. Those of you who are huge duck fans and you're going to be like, oh no, don't do that. You've got to render the fat. Calm down. Here we go. This is why I'm doing it in the slow cooker. And while I'm doing that, while I'm explaining that, I'm patting it dry. Because we want it nice and dry so all the spices will stick to it. Why we are doing that, any of you who have ever fixed pork carnitas knows you have to do it low and slow. The lower and slower you do it, the more it breaks down that connective tissue, breaks down all the fat, and makes it just luscious and easy to shred. That's what you're doing here. You're making a duck into that. Well, if you roast it in the oven, yeah, you'll get that nice crispy skin and all that stuff. But it won't be as easy to shred. It won't be fall apart tender, which is what you want for carnitas. So the best way to do that with a duck, to get all that fat to render out, is to slow render it in the slow cooker. Now, you're gonna think, oh, it's gonna be greasy, it's gonna be sitting in all that duck fat. That's gonna work to your advantage later when you start frying up the carnitas to make nice crispy edges on the carnitas. That's gonna work in your favor. And you're not gonna end up with dry meat. So, now let's get started. We have a whole duck here. If you don't have a whole duck and you just have duck breast or duck legs, you can just do that. But what I have is a whole duck. If you have just parts, you wanna lessen the amount of the spices here. So what we have here, we have a teaspoon of salt. This is pink Himalayan. We have about a half a teaspoon of black pepper, freshly ground. We have a teaspoon of cumin, a teaspoon of oregano, and a teaspoon of garlic powder. Granulated garlic, not powder preferably. Now we're gonna mix all those together. See, if you do it on a paper plate, you can just shake the paper plate around and it'll get all nice and mixed together because you want it nice and mixed. So, now we're gonna sprinkle it all over the duck. And we're gonna rub him down really good with these beautiful Mexican spices. And it already smells good. Anybody who's watched our videos in the past knows that I am a cumin freak. I absolutely adore cumin. So that smell is just amazing to me. So now we have a nice little layer of those seasonings. So now we're going to, and see, some have fell down inside, and that's perfect. You actually want it to fall down inside. Okay, now what we're gonna do, the very first thing I'm gonna do is go wash these nasty hands. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back with clean hands. See, they're clean. Now we're gonna get it in the slow cooker. Come here, duck. There we go. Now, he's in the slow cooker, as you can see. We've got a magical mixture here that's gonna go in with it. We've got, in this cup right here, we've got a cup of orange juice, 2 tablespoons of lime juice, and about a half a cup of chicken stock. And we're gonna pour that down around the edges. Of the duck. See, now you've got all that beautifulness down in there. Now, it's just this simple. It's just this simple, people. Now, what we're gonna do, mine is programmable. So if it is, go ahead and program it. But we're putting it on low. See? It says low. Put it on low and take it up to 8 hours because it is a whole duck. Now if you are just using duck breast or duck legs or just duck parts, it's going to only take about 5 to 6 hours on low. But because this is a whole duck and you've got the bones and all of that stuff, you're going to need to do it for about 8 hours so that it's nice and done. And of course, I nearly forgot. You've got to put the lid on it. People, you have to put the lid on your slow cooker. So, now, we're just going to wait for the magic to happen. Okay, it's been 8 hours in the crock pot. And as you can see, I've pulled it out and it was completely falling apart. It was so tender. And I've already shredded up the legs and thighs, which is over here. You want to shred it up into good shreds. And I'm just using my fingers because I've took it out and let it cool enough that I can shred it up with my fingers.
And don't eat it while you're shredding.
That's going to be the tough part because it is so delicious. That is definitely going to be the tough part. Okay. Now, I left the duck breast to show you. You want to pull the skin off. And see, it just pulls right off real easy. And all the fat is rendered nicely. So there's not a lot of fat left. And now you just want to take, that's where the biggest part of your meat's going to be, is in the breast. So you just want to shred it up into shreds. And then I'll show you what we do next. Okay, as you can tell, it's screaming hot. We took some of to finish the carnitas. We took some of the duck fat out of the slow cooker. And we've got it in here. And as you can tell, it's popping like crazy. Now you want to take your shredded duck meat and you want to put it in that screaming hot popping skillet. And you want to fry it. Just like you would pork carnitas, until you have some nice brown on it and some nice crispy bits. And it's going to be so tasty. Now, to go with these duck tacos, these duck carnitas tacos, you want, this is duck is very rich, fatty meat. So you want something to offset that fattiness. So you more want to add a fruit, like a fruit salsa to it. You could add a pineapple salsa,
mango,
yeah. Some mangoes. You can just slice the mangoes. If you don't have anything else, you can just slice some mangoes and put on it. But what we're going to put on it is our home canned peach salsa that we did a video on during Peach Week.
You'll see that link in the description.
And we're going to put that on there because it's going to be phenomenal on here. Okay, so it's starting to brown a little now, so we'll turn it over and show you. Look at that.
Oh, that's good.
Now we'll turn it all over.
Oh, that's going to be good.
Look at that.
That's awesome.
Look at that beautifulness.
Now, how brown do you want to get it?
About like this right here.
Okay.
But you don't want all of it that way.
So you don't want it all like that.
Bits and pieces that way. You just want bits and pieces that way. A few little crispy bits. Just some crispy brown yumminess at times.
You don't want it to be like hard and like crunchy in your mouth.
And it smells absolutely wonderful. This house smelled wonderful all day long.
I'll bet.
It made me so hungry smelling it. We're almost there. Isn't that glorious? Look at that. Isn't that glorious?
Cool.
I think we'll call that done.
I think it's good.
Now we're going to show you how we build these glorious things.
All right, you know how to build a taco, but I'm just showing you. This is what we got here. So we got that. I'm gonna take a bite so you know if it's any good or not. You got a sample right now. Here's our glorious peach salsa that we made.
Look at that beautifulness.
It's awesome.
And it tastes amazing, people.
It's awesome. I don't think you want to get too much. It's pretty strong, so I don't think you want to get too much. Let's just leave it like it is, just like that. Now at this point, you can also put, if you want some greens on it, you can put some greens on it. If we had some radishes, we would put radishes on it, because radish would be good contrast from the salsa. Okay. But we're just going to take a little bite of this. I have not tasted it yet. So you're going to get real reaction right here. Okay? Never had anything like it. It's amazing. Absolutely amazing. Get a better bite.
And those are on homemade tortillas. That we will show you a video on later.
Wow.
Are they good?
That's amazing. That's and that is so flavorful. And then you got the sweetness with the freshness of the salsa. It's just outstanding. So salsa, we made. Video on that in the description. The tortillas, Angela made. And that video will be tomorrow, okay? If you're watching this the day we put it up, the video on how to make the tortillas, if you don't know how, will be up tomorrow. So stay tuned, okay? Come back tomorrow and watch that. And it's just outstanding. So the salsa we made with peppers and our onions, our peppers and our onions, peaches that we bought from the peach truck, and the canned ourselves, and the duck. You could raise yourself. We didn't raise it, obviously, but we could. We will one day. The tortilla Angela made, so see the video tomorrow. If you're watching this later, then the video's already out. And we'll have that link. If you're watching this later, we will have that video to the tortillas linked in the description if you're watching this later. But day of, it won't be there, okay? Hey, we appreciate you guys watching. If you like us, subscribe to our channel and do yourself a favor and click the bell for notifications, because that way you can see everything we're doing. When it comes up, you'll get a notification when we put a new video up. And we appreciate y'all watching. Love you guys. God bless you and goodbye.